Good morning. It is Wednesday, April 8th. I just want to talk to you very quickly again about writing your letter. Now, you're not going to do that till tomorrow, but I still want to talk to you about it a little bit and just review what I need you to do. There will be no video shared tomorrow, just the Audible for Peter Pan. Chapter 7. Make sure that you are reading and rereading your chapters in Peter Pan, because I've noticed that the fluency is off a little bit when I heard some of you guys read. That's the reason I share the Audible, so that you can listen to that and read with that. So make sure you're doing that. So yesterday on the video, there's only a few people that watched, but on the video, you noticed that I discussed what to do for today. And one of those was how to write a letter. And then I put, first watch the video and here's an example letter. And so you guys are going to look at this and do those two things. So make sure that you do watch writing a friendly letter like I showed it yesterday. And yesterday I also went over the parts of a letter. And this is my example letter. And yesterday I said, oops, I've got some errors that need to be fixed. And that's what a rough draft is. You're going to have some errors. So when you write your letter, so you're ready to write your letter. And so the first thing you're going to do is to put the date. Now, you're not going to put this part. I'm just telling you, this is my point of view so that you know, and you're going to have your own experience. So the first thing you're going to do is write your date. Now, I wrote this March the 31st. So if you write it today, let's say you're going to write March or April the 8th, 2020. And don't forget, comma, ma'am. Okay, then you're going to write the same thing as me. Dear future third graders, or dear third grader, or dear third graders, because that's who I've told you to write to. So then the next thing you're going to do is write your opening. You have to introduce yourself. So you're going to start out with, my name is, and you're going to put in your name. I put in my name, you're going to put in your name. So you've got your who, and then you've got in the year 2020. You've got your when, and I taught at Westside Elementary School in Reedyville, Tennessee. You have your where. So in your introduction, you need to put your who, your when, and your where. Now you need to put your what are you going to be writing about. And of course, I wrote right before our spring break in March, a virus began spreading around the world. I wasn't concerned. Then while on spring break, we got word that school would be postponed. And well, everything was about to change. So if nothing else, tomorrow, focus on that introduction. Okay, focus on your introduction. Make sure you have your who, when, where, and what. You have to introduce things to let your reader know what they're about to read about. And in this case, what they're about to read about in their letter. And we've done this all year, but we still have a lot of work to go on our writing. So the next thing is I went by the outline that we worked on together, and most of you have shared with me. So the first thing in your outline, it was stores. So you need to go back to your outline, look what you wrote about in that outline concerning the stores. And then you need to write about 3 to 5 sentences at least about what changed in the stores. And then let me go ahead and look at our outline. Okay, so the very first thing that you would write about is the stores, the shopping. The second thing, if you filled out eating out, your second paragraph or your next paragraph in your body is going to be the eating out. So your first paragraph is going to be that introduction, and then all of your next paragraphs are going to have to go from here. So shopping is going to be a paragraph. Eating out is going to be a paragraph based on what you wrote. Recreational activities is going to be a paragraph. School life will be a paragraph. And other things that change that I haven't mentioned will be a paragraph or tied into your closing. So each of these are going to be a separate paragraph. And what do we do at the beginning of each paragraph? We bump it over. We indent to let our reader know, hey, I'm either changing a speaker, you know, if you're writing a narrative, or I'm changing my topic. I'm changing the information I'm sharing with you. And then in the very last part, I keep clicking the same thing, sorry. In the very last part of your letter, always give a closing statement. So you've written about everything on your outline, and if you didn't fill in a part, that's okay, just don't write about that part, okay? So here I wrote about some other things that changed, right? That last paragraph, I've kind of made it into my closing, but here is my final closing statement. I'm going to add a comment. My closing statement. And then you guys can see that on there. So my closing statement. This was an experience that has changed me and I believe has made me a better person. Okay, so you will have a closing statement. It's just to kind of wrap things up, put a big bow on it. Then you're going to have your closing part of a letter, sincerely, yours truly, love, your friend, you know, whatever you want to close here. And then you're going to state your name again. And these should be lined up, mine bumped over a little bit, with your heading as much as possible, okay? All right, so that is what I'm expecting for when you write your letter. So I hope that helped. I would not watch this video just once. I would watch it several times so that like you can watch what you're supposed to do for your heading and for your greeting and for your introduction. And I would just focus on that. And then I would watch it for what I'm supposed to do for every other paragraph and go back and look at my example. And then you'll need to go back and check to make sure that you wrote complete sentences and not run-ons. We struggle a lot with run-ons in the class where you just write, and you never put a period. Okay, so remember, I found some errors like that myself. So it doesn't mean that you're not a good writer. It just means you're just writing in a hurry, just like I did, and you didn't check your work. So if you remember, we read my paper, and I realized I wrote a lot of compound sentences, but I didn't put that comma. Well, that's called a run-on. So you've still got to go back and check your work, just like I needed to go back and check my work, okay? So make sure you do those things. This is the only lesson I'm sharing today, but it's extremely important to help you today, tomorrow, and probably even into next week, Monday and Tuesday, to finish writing that letter. If you've already written the letter and finished, you probably rushed through it and it's not what it needs to be. So you probably need to go back and look at it again and read it out loud. Because if you remember, I didn't catch my errors until I read it out loud to you. And so remember, we used to always get in a group and we'd read our letter together, right? We would read it out loud to a friend and we'd check it ourselves. And then we'd let a friend read our letter out loud and let them check the errors. And then we'd pass it to another friend and another friend. So, you know, we have to check our work repeatedly because we all make mistakes. And it's okay to make a mistake, but you don't need to leave it like that or you'll never learn, you know, how to correct your mistakes and how to do it the right way. All right. I love you guys. Can't wait to see you and be back in class with you to help you individually. But good luck. I know you can do this. Okay. Have a good day. Bye-bye.